Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Render with NK. I didn't mess up the name this time. Awesome stuff. So what's going to be happening today, guys? I'm going to be showing you guys the Pulsate product animation settings, right? What you can do with it, and maybe the possible combinations that I've kind of figured out with it. What you can do with it, right? So I've showed you guys turntable and hover, so I'm just gonna hide those two for now. We have pulsate, and I think we'll have bounce intro afterwards, right? But for now, for pulsate, right? Pulsate basically it's at the moment. So pulsate and bounce intro, both of them have the all selection. So automatically, if you select an all, it's animating all the excesses at the same time. The main reason for that is um, it. I would suspect maybe that's the main way someone would use it, right? Like it'll just be pulsating on one. Oh my days, what's going on here? This is not working. Why? Wait, what? Let's see what's going on here. Was I messing with the wrong thing? Switch off. Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened there, to be honest with you guys. Um Maybe a bit of a glitch where if you do this and then move to the, or maybe if you do this, then try to deselect this. Okay, cool. So I think that's what happens, right? Like if you click on this, edit these, and then deselect this, these kind of automatically just deactivate for some reason. But you can activate them again individually. So yeah, that had me a little bit shook for a second there. But I guess that's something to look out for me to fix next time. But yeah, so again, like the other modifiers, other animation modes, you can choose to animate it on one axis, two axes, or all three. Right? You can select all three without selecting all. All right, but I do know almost by default, sorry, people are going to choose to animate all the axes at the same time. Right, so that's just one of the things you can do with this. Again, pulsate over here, all of them, the text is pulsating. Right, you can do the same things um, with this, and I think like it looks really cool with text. This is one of those where the example with text looks just a bit cooler. The strength you can increase how far up it's going, but then it also goes below that, right? Because it's like it's pulsating on one axis. You can pulsate it on the z axis. Okay, can't really do that at the moment because it's not a 3D object necessarily. So you can pulsate it on the x axis. There you go. Oh yeah, remember like this object was so it's not a 3D object, so there's only two axes, which is the x and the y, right? And you might be thinking, wait, isn't this the z axis, not the y axis? Well, it is, but like you need to remember that this object was rotated. So if you look at over here, it's rotated by 90 degrees, right? Because by default, when you create text in Blender, it comes laying flat, right? So that's what's happening there. But yeah, let me just show you guys because I'm not sure if I might be taking for granted. So, for example, when you create new text, as you can see, it's laying flat and you have to rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, right? But the object itself is still morphing based on its original um, internal axes, right? So this is the object's original y-axis, right? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just comment and I'll explain, or someone else might explain it for you so you can understand it. But I'll check my comments and I'll explain if no one has explained it for you. So yeah, that's what happens. So this is one of those effects that just look cooler when you do it on text, right? And if you do this, then you have multiple of the effects showing, right? There you go. And then just like the other the other add-ons, right, I've also created a feature where you can drop it into the modifier stack, right? So enable, and there you have it. Speed 1, and then which axis do I want it to move on? I want it to move on the z-axis with a strength of 1. There you go. That's a bit much. 0.25. There you go. That's a bit much. zero point 0.5. Speed. Whoa, amplitude is still. Oh, sorry. Jeez, 7 is a bit much. My bad. Um, Strength. Let's move it to 2.25. Speed is fine. All right. Speed, I think is fine. Okay. So there you go. So you can do that, right? And then what you can also do with this, again, I will show you guys an example with the array modifier, right? Let's just add some spaces between them, right? There you go. What you can do with this is, like at the moment, it's applying it on the object and then an array is being applied. But if I move it below that, as you can see now, all the different, or because it's editing the vertices and we're animating individual parts, these vertices are being, what do you call this, are getting the pulsate effect differently compared to all these others. And remember, the pulsate effect is only being applied on one axis, but if you apply it on all of them, then we have this bit of a mess, right? And I'm thinking that might be because of the offset. I kind of still need to figure that out, right? Like how oh my goodness, how I might best apply these different animations, right? Because once it's applying the animation on all axes, then things start moving around, which I do need to fix. But for now, so it's the it's the x-axis. Once it's moving, I don't know why it's moving on the x-axis instead of just pulsing on the x-axis. I need to think about that. But you can still at the moment do some pretty cool stuff with this, right? So let's just put this off. Let's just do this, right? So those are moving. Or maybe let's put that off. Let's put it on the 2, right? I like this. Um, what you can do is you can apply the normal pulsate on the z-axis, or let's say O. There you go. You get this really, it feels, it makes the movements almost organic. Does that make sense? It doesn't feel too mechanical. I don't know. It could just be me though, right? Um, yeah. But then now that you can do that, you can also combine this add-on. So let's say pulsate. You can now combine the pulsate with the hover and the turntable. All right, and then you can do an array. Maybe I really like the circle effect, I guess. So I do use it a lot, to be fair. 6. There you go. So now you're getting this really cool effect, but like maybe let's turn off the hover. Right, and now it's just pulsating. Maybe there we go. All right, there we go. But maybe if you remove that and we don't add the pulsate there, but we add the pulsate. Oh yeah, sorry, you can't really see. There you go, because there were too many of them. But let's say we add the pulsate as a modifier. Sorry, go here. There you go. All right, and then if we add another one, but remove it and we just make it do it on one axis. Right, so I think like with the pulsate, if you want the different cubes to be pulsating at the different um, So essentially, you want the X axis as well to be modified because it creates this effect when you do it like this. Maybe what you can do is enable randomize and then scale. Right, so now like the different objects become different sizes at different points in time. But then again, as well, you might look at this and you'll be like, okay, well, the issue is I want them to pulsate the same, but then at different times, right? And that's kind of like the thing where I do still need to figure out how I can apply that, because as soon as the x-axis is involved, right, and the pulsate stack is above the array modifier, it comes after the array modifier, things get a little bit messy, right? Things do get a little bit messy. Um, but then they are pulsating in the right time. But I just need to figure out why it feels as if it's also messing with the transform. So yeah, I'm still working on it. But yeah, thank you guys for staying with me to explain my Pulsate Animator settings. Right. What I'll do is let me switch off the turntable. What I'll do is now I'm just gonna enable these three. On the next video, you're going to get the last one, which is the bounce, the last one in the series, which is the bounce intro. Right there you go. I don't really have too many things you can do with the bounce intro, but again, please like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comment section. And I'm hoping that you guys like the video. Thank you. Cheers.